What is the most proud moment you had here?
For me, it's more of the small things. When I hear that Prediktera here got 3 paid collaboration with ABB, that's so nice because I know that's a so important foundation for them. When you do this matching, for example, I matched the CEO for Elasticys, and when he started to work, a lot of things have happened. So it's more of the small things. When I notice that we are making a difference, we are creating value, to have them to thank us when they get some prize or that we made a difference, that's important. To use our networks, to use everything to really make the best possible for the entrepreneurs. We are kind of the general incubator, not specifically helping in a field, more of we want to help companies that are growing, who wants to go global. So we're helping from really early stage. But then we have different program and activities to kind of scan out who are we going to really put a lot of effort into. But then we have a specific one, Umeå Biotech Incubator, life science. So they have a lab, a lot of ideas from science research at university. Big Factory, Expression and Umeå Biotech Incubator. All of these are incubators we are collaborating with them a lot. He's kind of early, Randy. He's one of our 50 companies that are accepted into the incubator.
So I arrived here 3.5 years ago to Sweden. I'm from Venezuela. I ended up arriving here, it was January 22nd, with jeans, and my light jacket. And the week after was -27. So I was definitely not prepared for that. From an entrepreneurship perspective, as a startup, the cash burn rate is much lower than in Stockholm, and you have access to very smart people. So I think in general for early stage startups, it's a very interesting place to be. So firstly, we were part of the Umeå startup program that lasts about 4 months, and the idea is to test your first idea, to use a lean startup from the beginning, get out of the building, talk to as many people as possible, and validate your idea. If you manage to do that successfully, then you enter the incubator. In the incubator, you have more access to resources. There are many things that you can ask for, help with funding, help with getting connections to certain people. There might not be as strong competition in Stockholm. So if you demonstrate that you have a good product, you have a good team, you have the good values, the access to I would say funds, it's very reachable.
All of us that are in Northern Light Capital, we both have done an entrepreneurial voyage ourselves, and we want to dig in and take off your fancy clothes and do some hard work as well. So we are mainly focused on tech companies. We have 2 companies in medtech, which work with cancer detection. We also are invested in AI. Machine learning, of course. I guess everyone is into that today.
In terms of starting a business and stuff, why would someone want to do that in Umeå and not in Stockholm?
Yeah.
There's maybe more money.
Yeah, well, I'd say one thing, you get a closer connection to the capital, and in our case also competence, us helping them. And to be honest, there's a lot of us investors who think that Stockholm is so overheated. We see that the people, entrepreneurs and the companies in Umeå, they stay longer and they are more committed to the idea and the company as well. So I mean, their talents don't leave, they don't jump from ship to ship.
We went up to the local business incubator, Umeå, and said that we wanted to start a company, and it was going to be called the Code Mill because it was a free domain, and we were going to work with computers. And then they asked us, like, what's your unique selling point? Why will customers buy from you? And then I was quiet for a bit, and then I said that I had excellent grades. And they said that that's not a unique selling point, that's not a business model. So we learned a lot since that time. I mean, it's a message you often hear that maybe the center of IT of Sweden would be in Stockholm or Kista, for instance. But if you just look at it rationally, then in Umeå you have a small town but an excellent university, so you have a lot of talent in one place, but you still have relatively few companies that compete about this talent, and also many people they are very reluctant to move to Stockholm because they would get a very different quality of life. So they want to stay in Umeå. So you have lots of talent in one place and very low turnover in general among employees at companies. So it's a really good place to recruit talent and keep them on. And I think this is the most important aspect when you start up a new company. Well, there are several important aspects. So one is that we have the university, and that's really like an engine. I mean, without the university, the city would be very, very, very different. And not in a good way, to be explicit. We have Almi present and Länsstyrelsen, and both of those are very good for like soft loans, for instance, if you want to try a new idea. We also have the municipality, which I feel take a strong interest in supporting like emerging businesses.
I started working for the city of Umeå 10 years ago. My role is to work with the other actors within the city. Either it's the universities or the startup companies or the business environment or the cultural scene or the sports clubs. Working with them, getting them listen to their needs and try to fulfill them. One of the things that is very typical of Umeå is that people are collaborating. It's even when we're trying to understand, when researchers come and try to understand why is Umeå growing so fast, they find that the high level of trust between people and the closeness is a key factor. It is so easy in Umeå to collaborate, and we know that the best ideas grow faster if we are collaborating. People are working together, organizations are working together, and if someone is in the middle, it is the entrepreneurs.
Big Factory is also an incubator for young entrepreneurs. So they are focused on really early young entrepreneurs. They usually have maybe 1 to 2 people really early on working with their business idea. Not that it has to be scalable, technical, but it could be. Sometimes those companies are starting there at Big Factory, coming to us later on. That could be a case. So trying to work close with them to see how could we help the entrepreneurs in the best way. Great Hub is a new office hub, more of a co-working space for more established companies, but also entrepreneurs. So they have a location downtown and here. I see that a lot of companies might move to their space after they have been in our incubator.
Hi, my name is Matilda Henningsson and I am the community manager of Great Hub City and Great Hub Campus. It's a place for small companies to connect with each other and to grow, and it's also a meeting point for the rest of the company network in Umeå. So even bigger companies can come in and meet the smaller companies.
We are working together with researchers, students, and we want to work more closely to startups and SMEs, small and medium-sized companies. Because when we work together, we manage to develop better products and innovations. So
I came originally as most or as many people for the love, and then love broke, but I stayed. Umeå, I think, is pretty well also work-wise in the IT business. There's a lot of companies, there's a lot of customers, so it's actually it's a good choice to be here, also business-wise.
So we started a group for students to meet up and be inspired for starting your own business. Right now in our network we have at least 4 or 5 people who are running their own companies, and these people are really inspiring. It's nice to hear about their stories and their failures and everything they did.
Everywhere you go, I feel that I'm welcome. It's not some close barrier, and I think it's because there's a lot of students staying here, and students are usually, open-minded to new people. Also, because everybody's open-minded, there's also a really good way for collaboration here. If you have a network, you're often open to open it for somebody else. That opens for a lot of possibilities, and it also opens for a startup for possibilities for new deals. So another perspective is that you have to live somewhere, and I really like running and skiing. I like snow, I like summer, so it's kind of the perfect balance between winter and summer, surfing, running, skiing, and so on. So if you take that into that everything is also 10 minutes away with the bike, it's really easy to live in Umeå as well. The most challenging part to grow the company here is probably that most of our customers is not here. Still, if we were having our company in Stockholm, most of our customers would not be in Stockholm either.
Do you know what we're doing today?
Yeah, I think you want to meet me to talk about 5G, Umeå 5G.
Yeah.
Yes. The world could be your market. It isn't just a local market. Because if you do an application that works in Umeå in some area for healthcare issues, you have healthcare all over the world, of course. So you can really make a difference. We want to explore what benefits we can make from the technique, how we can make value for our citizens. We're not primarily interested in the technique itself, but how we can use it. And 5G brings a couple of things which you can't do with 4G. You have a low latency. Low latency means that you can put in the technique in critical applications. It is a much more stable and secure technique, so we can use it. For instance, if you have applications that can't fail. A typical example you often mention is a automobile that drives by itself. Those things can't fail. You can't let it be hacked, and you have to have low latency, because if you have to react with something in your area around, it has to be instant. We are collaborating with Telia, mobile operator Telia, and their supplier Ericsson. And this is a pretty early stage yet, because in Sweden there are just 4 base stations up and running, and 3 of them are just for research. So we don't have any base stations or radios up yet, but we are planning for them. So the difference is that it is the public Umeå that wants to explore. So the municipality wants to see how can we make Umeå a better place with the help of new techniques.
We're focusing now on the game industry as well. We started off we have a few gaming companies that are here. The gaming industry in Umeå is quite strong. We have Paradox that has a company here situated. So it's we try to build that gaming community here as a sector that could potentially grow bigger.
So we have these successful companies like Sordix, Paradox. We have Coldwood, which made Unravel. Very successful with their IPs and what they've done. What Umeå is trying to do is find a way, find a community for us to actually tie things together. So the commune, Umeå kommun, really feel like we have something going on here in the gaming sector. They're gonna make it so much bigger than it is, and it's so exciting to be in the midst of it, in the middle.
I think it's more industries here than we think, even if you have lived in Umeå for, like me, over 25 years. We have Volvo trucks, SCA, ABB have a small hub here. So we have some big industries here, some world-leading industries, but in a niched field. And they have to be really, really good at what they're doing. So they need new talent, they need new innovation, new technical solution, AI, machine learning, you name it. So they are really eager to collaborate with startups and the university.
We have a long history of inventors. We have had to look into different ways of finding new solutions to old problems. Many of the companies that we can see here today that are huge and large, like Volvo Trucks, for example, they are here because of inventions that was made here.
Our founder, the company was founded in 1929, and then it was sold. He started to build furniture in wood, and then he started to build cabs in wood, and then in steel. He developed this process, and then in the 1964 Volvo Group bought the plant. When they wanted to buy it, he said, then you need to have it in Umeå. It needs to stay in Umeå. We're actually looking for startups for the Umeå plant, for environmental, it's for people, like human resources, that type, and also, of course, new techniques. As we see as the startups, they have like special skills. They're very focused on just one thing, and then they are really expert in that field. And then we see that as a big resource for us because they really know just this small area. It's not always we are the best suited for them. So then you can give them names and directions so they can move forward in their work. The plant is almost CO2 neutral. And it's kind of a big thing because we have a paint shop and it's a lot of chemicals in it. And we use the river water to cool down some of our systems, and the water we put out to the river again, it's cleaner than we took in.
Expression is located in the art campus down by the river. And there we have Umeå Institute of Design, which is one of the world's two best industrial design schools in the world. Yeah, in Umeå.
People here are eager to make change, to make an impact, and that is a really nice environment to be in.
A lot of things is happening here, and maybe the companies are not valued that high, so it's a good way for the investors to come in early and meet the companies. It's a good way to get into a team here because you might be a part of that company easier. So we want to just tell those stories.
You know, a small city can do great things.